So, why censorship sucks dick. What do you think?
It's a touchy subject, I guess.
I guess, man. Touching that shitty dick.
I know. It's I think we seem to see this like at least 3 or 4 times a year now.
Yeah.
Where something comes over from Japan and they have to change a lot of aspects about the game to appease a certain sect within the Western audience, I guess, is the simplest way to put it.
Yeah.
I know you feel very strongly about this subject.
I hate it so much, but we'll get there.
I am not a fan. I wish that games would be released in the creator's intent, the way that, you know, the person that made the game, how they envision the game should be everyone should get to play that.
Yep.
Instead of bastardizing the game, you know, changing a lot of aspects about it. But at the same time, I see why companies like Nintendo and that kind of stuff, they do change. And I mean, NAS America does this. Idea Factory will do this from time to time. I get why they change certain aspects of some games just to try to get more sales here.
Sure.
Because a lot of times a game will come over, like case in point with like Xenoblade Chronicles X. The little girl in there, I forget her name.
Yeah, me
but
too.
in Japan, she basically was wearing like a bikini throughout the entire game. It was
she had
very,
like really like
very skimpy clothes and that kind of stuff. And they changed it to like not necessarily. It wasn't a full body suit,
right?
here,
but it was like pretty.
It was
like,
more.
It was definitely
more coverage on her body. But I mean, case in point, I think in the game she's like 13 or 14.
Yeah.
But in Japan, that's looked at as normal almost. I mean, that's just their culture.
Right. Like
it's
no one
so
over there
different
cares.
from us. But in order to get more sales here, I mean, a lot of people. Now, I still would buy that game.
Yeah.
Exactly
definitely.
like it was here. I mean, I'm a huge, Japanese culture fan. I mean, I love everything that Japan does. JRPGs, my favorite genre.
Right.
But I mean, companies over there in Japan are some of the my fondest memories with gaming are from those companies.
Right.
But like I said, I get why companies change it here because there are a lot of people that wouldn't buy those games. And I mean, if you go like to forums like on NeoGAF, anywhere else, anytime something from like Compile Heart gets announced or something, it's always just this uproar of the sexualization of teenagers.
Right.
And I get that.
Sure.
For our culture.
Totally, I get it, but I also want to throw out too, like this whole conversation and everything isn't necessarily just about like, oh man, I'm pissed that I don't get to see boobs in my video game.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
like
no.
that's not what this is.
Yeah.
But the thing that gets censored the most, I would say, in our side of things, is anything that focuses on like sexuality.
Right.
Because it's like you look at something like GTA where it's like, oh yeah, you can go around and hey, see that cop right there? Just shoot a rocket launcher at him and blow him up.
Right.
Nobody cares.
Violence is totally different.
Nobody cares about violence.
It's insane.
Nobody cares about swearing. Nobody cares about literally anything else that a game can be rated for.
And I like that you brought that up.
Yeah, until you look and you see, oh, so I have a game that's rated teen where this kid's like talking about like how he's playing all these like Call of Duty, like shooting people, all this stuff. And I have a game that's rated T. On the back says suggestive themes. A mom looks at it and goes, oh, why is there suggestive stuff in this game? Like, what does that mean? Like, what does that entail?
Sure.
And they're like, oh, no, you can't buy that game. That's a T-rated game. But meanwhile, this kid's talking about Call of Duty where they're like, oh, fuck you. Like, we're going to fucking blow up the White House. All this fucking crazy shit. And I'm like,
yeah,
that's okay.
One of the most controversial scenes ever was in that Call of Duty game.
Exactly. Where they just go in and you kill all the innocents.
Yeah, the airport scene.
Like, literally, you're okay with that, Mom. But as soon as there's a girl in a bikini, oh, I can't buy this game. Get that out of here. Like, that makes no sense. And I don't get why. Like, I mean, I do get why, like...
That goes back to the difference within the cultures.
And that's it entirely.
Yeah.
Like, our cultures are so different, and I get it.
We are so... What is the right word? Like, it doesn't affect us when we see violence.
Yeah,
here.
oh God, what is the word? It's not... It's desensitized, that's it.
Yeah, we are desensitized to violence, but where it's like sexuality, that's... Over there,
right?
They're desensitized.
Right,
to
they
that.
don't care. They see it all the time. That's fine. Whatever.
Right.
Blah blah blah. Who cares? And then, but what's crazy is over there, like games like Call of Duty and GTA, where there is like all that violence stuff. They're really not huge fans of that.
Right.
They don't like
totally
when
different.
like when you cut someone's head off and like blood is gushing everywhere, like something like God of War.
That's the meme about America.
Like, yeah. So like when it's like, oh, you see something like God of War where you're ripping, like Titan's eyeballs out and like you see like their tendons snapping and you're like breaking people's necks and all that. Japan's not a big fan of that.
Right.
But the sexuality stuff, they
most
don't care.
countries aren't.
Yeah, exactly.
Here,
a lot of places aren't.
We are.
We don't give a fuck.
Fucking.
But it's
every
like,
game should be like that, apparently.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I don't agree with.
No, definitely not. But then it's like, but the sexuality stuff is like, where it gets like thrown out. Now, the thing that I want to say, like, I get that you're hurting your sales and stuff, but it's like, are you also hurting your sales from the people who don't buy it because it's censored?
Now, there are a lot of people that are like that too. Where, they're like, I want to play this game the way that it was meant to be played. And I see people all the time on certain subsection forums and that kind of stuff. Well, they'll boycott a game if it's changed too much.
Yep.
And I totally, I respect
and
that
that's
opinion.
totally fine.
Yeah.
Like, I totally agree with you. Now, what I would love, and like this is something that Call of Duty does, where there's actually in the options of Call of Duty is turn off violence, turn off blood, or it was like Gears of War or something, some shooter game that's like crazy.
Or something
I actually want to throw out Gears of War is okay, but a girl in a bikini is not. Like, come on. But there's like settings where you can like set that stuff off, and so it's like the swearing goes away and it's like scratched out or something like that, and then there's
this goes all the way back to Mortal Kombat in 1992.
Yeah, exactly.
With the blood settings.
Yeah, and so it's like
on
you
Super
can
Nintendo and Sega Genesis,
and you can like not customize, but you can like not monitor either. You can change it, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But you can like figure that out and make it the way you want. You can customize it.
Yeah.
That's what I want to say. To like be however you want it to be. Give me that option for these other games where it's like. But then I don't know, because I'm not a game developer, I don't know how much goes into that of like, well, if you have to re-render the game, like it's one thing to like go through and edit out fuck and just go over it, you know what I mean? Or like to not have blood splash on the screen. Like that's one thing. But like, I don't know if to go through and change an entire character's like armor set or like an entire scene of the game, like I don't know how much work that entails. Just for flipping one setting, you know what I mean? Right. But it's like also you're still like cannibalizing the game to make it awful. And something like that's why I've got Tokyo Mirage Sessions playing here,
which is a huge violator of this whole thing.
Crazy censorship. Like there's whole like dungeons of this where you were supposed to go through it, and it was like.
Speaking of which, this game. Fucking amazing.
This game's awesome, but think of how much better it would have been had we gotten like the pure experience Japanese version of the game. I know. Which granted, it's on a Nintendo
That's why
console.
I wish I could
it.
read Japanese because I would totally import all the stuff.
Yes, I would 100%, and that would be awesome. And it's like there's like the whole first dungeon or second dungeon or whatever of where that chick is supposed to be like a Gravore model, which is pretty much like a bikini model.
Her costume is
what
so
it is.
different.
Yeah, and like crazy. In this, and there was supposed to be like. Just everything was supposed to be like she was supposed to be like way sexier. Like the dungeon you were supposed to go through was supposed to have like all these pictures of girls in like bikinis like going down the halls and like, but it's like again this isn't a video about like damn I wish I could see more bikinis in my video games.
It's just creators'
it's more
intent.
of like exactly. Yeah. It's like it's a principle thing, not necessarily a content thing. Where it's like great. I get kind of like the watered down version of it, right? And that sucks. I want to get like the pure experience where it was like if.
You want more dicks in Order 1886.
I do. Like, I need that. But it's
more,
like...
More vampire dick.
Okay.
More vampire dick.
Vampire dick was okay, but, like, girl in a bikini, not okay. So I'm like...
Now, you know what game actually didn't do that I kind of respect? Persona 5.
Yes, I was going to bring that up, too.
Yeah.
Persona 5, completely uncensored, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. And, like, all the DLC isn't uncensored. Like, none of it is uncensored, which is great.
Atlas
so
is actually pretty good about that. I mean, they did the same thing with Catherine.
Yep.
I mean, all the different personas in the series.
Except for Tokyo Mirage Sessions. But they had Nintendo's big bear claws coming down on them.
This wasn't just
you know
Atlas. This was
exactly.
Nintendo.
So, and, like, I get that, and that's dumb. But it's, like, going back to this, too, and even, like, Fire Emblem and stuff like that, the Japanese... and that's what I guess I don't get, is that it's, like, Nintendo, for the Japanese version, lets it slide. But then Nintendo of America is the one who doesn't let it slide.
NOA is they're
like
the worst.
they're the ones who say no, we can't do this. Whereas Nintendo in Japan says it's okay, but Nintendo of America says it's not okay, and that's stupid. And you even get to points where it's like there's DLC for this, and like even for Fire Emblem, they like most of the Fire Emblem games have like the Hot Springs DLC or whatever, you know, where everybody's in like their bathing suits or whatever.
Very popular scene in Japanese games.
Yeah, and like that's where the thing. And so like if you watch any anime or like anything Japanese ever, Hot Springs are like a huge
always
thing
there.
over there. Like always a big part of it, whatever. And it's like that's whole chunks of the game that are just gone.
Right.
From the games we're getting. And it's like that pisses me off. Again, it's the principle of, oh, I love this game. I want to play this game 100%. I want to experience everything this game has to offer, but I can't because I'm getting the watered down version.
Yep.
And that's stupid, and I hate it, and I wish they wouldn't do it anymore.
I agree, 100%.
And it's like if this game, so this game was rated T, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
T or E10 plus or something like that.
It was
definitely not
E10.
M.
They gotta be T.
Yeah, it has to be. But it's like, okay, so if you wanted to leave it as T or whatever and release it as you did, fine. But like even if you had to like level up the rating to M, and keep all the original stuff, that it's like, okay, cool, like, yeah, we view sexuality and stuff like that differently, then it's like, okay, assign a rating equal to that.
Sure.
So it's like, yeah, this game could be teen. This game could be teen in Japan, where all of that's acceptable, but it can be M over here. Like, just do that then.
Yeah.
You know, but keep it the same game. Like, yeah, it's M, and you sell a lot less M games than you do a teen game, because obviously that barrier to entry is so much higher.
Yep.
But it's like, at the same time, it's like, I feel like the kid who would buy this game is way different than the kid who's going to buy Call of Duty.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, 10 out of 10 times, 9.5 out of 10 times, if a kid has $60 and he's going into GameStop, he's going to get Call of Duty for his PS4 before he gets this game.
Right.
This game, and especially JRPGs in general, are not even, like, marketed towards the people who would be offended
It's a shame.
if it was in it. You know what I mean?
It's a
Like, I don't know
shame.
if that makes sense, but,
No,
like,
I
does that
know.
make sense to
Yeah.
you? So it's like, why even censor it in the first place? Because whether or not it's censored, the person who's going to be offended isn't buying it.
Right.
So if this did have all the original content, they're not going to buy it. If it has the censored content, they're not going to buy it.
It's all about
so
the image,
who
apparently.
Cares?
All about the image.
Who cares? It's so dumb. But like, whatever. I don't know. And like, and it sucks. Like, so much of the censorship. So like this, like right here, like this scene, right? So she's wearing a low cut dress, whatever. And then when it switches back to gameplay and like there's like an in-game cutscene stuff, you see like all this like purple smoke or whatever like covers all these characters, and it's like you can tell that it's so blatantly fake.
Yep.
And I'm like, that looks awful. So you're also now ruining my game experience just because you had to censor it. Whereas it looked really good in Japan of whatever her outfit was, whatever she was wearing.
Yeah.
But now I have all this random purple smoke that just shows up. It's like an anime when like there's like a topless girl or something, and there's like that convenient like light bar that like goes and like covers everything. And I'm like,
or the steam from like from a bathtub.
and it's
or...
like, and it looks so bad.
Yeah.
Like if you made it work and you took the time to like actually make it seem like it was a part of the show or the game or whatever, okay, there's a little bit more leeway. But the fact that it looks like trash when it could just be uncensored and let me deal with it in my own way, then it's like, cool. Because if I'm offended by it, I'm not going to buy it.
Sure.
I'm not going to play it. You know what I mean? And that's my choice. But like you said, like bastardizing these developers' creations is also not the way to go.
Right.
But then again, I also don't know is how much like does Nintendo or whoever like really care? You know what I mean? Like, does
I think they care a lot.
You think
it.
so? Like,
I
that's
think
what I'm saying.
especially Nintendo. I think that's why a lot of the
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. So
a lot of the
Nintendo
stuff
definitely
that we're
cares.
talking about is on Nintendo platforms.
Sure, totally agree with that. But I mean like Atlas, who makes the game and they make the game they want to make, and it gets released the way they want it to be released in Japan.
Sure.
Like, are they more focused on like, okay, cool, like our home country and our people and everywhere else in the world? Because I don't think like, oh, maybe it is. Like EU and NA games are all they're like censored the same.
Yeah.
For the most part, right?
Yes, for the most part.
Yeah. So like this,
sometimes
the way
there's a
this
little
is,
there's a little
yeah, I was gonna say
differences here and there,
so
but
what's
usually
censored in this like sexuality wise is
is gonna
probably
be the
censored
same
in
in
like
Europe.
the European
Yep.
stuff. Okay. So it's like,
But
does Atlas care though? Like, does Atlas care that it's like, yeah, we put all this hard work into this game?
Deal.
Okay.
It used to be a big deal, but now in today's age, these games aren't selling that well in Japan anymore.
Oh,
the
okay. I didn't
Japanese
know that.
market has moved towards mobile devices. I
That's
mean,
true.
they are, if you look at like sales charts and graphs based on the actual platforms that people are playing on in Japan, it's mostly handhelds and it's mobile platforms because they travel around on subways and trains all the time. It's more convenient to them to play a game there, and they don't have the settings like we do here. Where they're
Right.
where there's multiple rooms, multiple TVs. They typically have one
They have-
TV.
yeah, they've
that's
got
shared
very
by the
small
family,
houses,
and they
not a
can't-
lot of possessions.
Yeah, they don't have room to sit there for 8-10 hours at a time playing a PS4 or something like that.
Right.
Now, granted, the PS4 is selling really well over there. It's probably the best-selling console since the PS2 over there.
Yeah.
But JRPGs, RPGs in general, anime type stuff, it's selling more here now than it is over there.
Yeah.
Case in point, Disgaea 5 sold a lot better here than
Yeah.
it did over in Japan.
Yeah. Not a fan of that game, but I get you though.
Yeah,
That
but
makes sense.
just as a recent example,
Yeah.
NIS, I mean, they're basically being saved by the sales here in America because they had made a statement saying like, if this game doesn't sell well, we're done. But it actually did well here, not over in Japan.
That's good.
So
I'm glad. And that just came out for the Switch too.
It did, which we have a review up on.
Oh, good. Awesome. I will not be picking up that game, but not my cup of tea. So.
Ryan might.
Yeah, Ryan definitely will. Ryan
Disgaea
loves that
5.
game.
Yeah,
I actually got him to buy. I bought it day one on PS4. I bought like the day one edition that came with like the CD and like all the stuff in the box and everything, and I thought it was so cool.
Yeah.
I got past like the first like 4 fights, and then it sticks you in the hub world, and then it's like, oh, hey, go around and talk to some people and like figure out more about the world. So I went around and I talked to literally every single person, went back and talked to the captain, and he's like, hey, go around and talk to some more people and find out more about the world. Couldn't figure out who I had to talk to, gave up. This was like 2-3 days after the game came out.
Yeah.
It literally has been sitting on my shelf until like just yesterday, and then I gave it to a friend. And I was like, here, you play this, you might like this.
Perfect.
But it's like, I never got past it, and then it came
Yeah.
out for Switch and all that stuff. And then I'm talking to Ryan about it. I'm like, dude, you gotta play this game. This game was awesome because the first 6 levels were awesome.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you gotta play it. You gotta try it out. So his sister buys it for him for Christmas or his birthday or something. And Christmas, yeah. And he ends up loving it, and he's playing it and all this stuff. He's like, dude, I might get it for the Switch. Just take it with me wherever I go. I'm like, that's crazy. I didn't think it was that good. But hey, man, to each their own.
Yeah. Mobile platforms, case in point.
And that's right, exactly. And that's so cool. And it's like, and I get that, and that's awesome. But it's like, again, to tie this all back up to the censorship stuff, is like, just give me it the way you intended to, and it's like...
Agree.
Like, and then let me decide. Let me be a smart consumer. Like, I don't need you, Nintendo, or whoever's doing the censoring, to be the consumer for me.
Yeah.
Like, let me make my own informed decision on
Right.
whether or not I want to buy this and have this in my house.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
Which is the way it should be.
yeah, I totally agree. Like, give me that freedom. Don't, like, decide for me.
Yep.
Yeah, there was one other thing I wanted to say, and I can't remember what it is, so... I guess we're just gonna end it
we're gonna
there.
wrap it up then.
Yep, that's fine. If I remember, hey, oh well. But yeah, thanks for joining us for this episode of BJ's in the Morning, where we discussed censorship and why it sucks.
Yeah.
Um.
Check out our other shows.
Censor that in this video.
Yeah. Do it. Yeah. Just put a nice little beep right over it.
Yeah. Check out our other shows.
Yep, we got tons of other stuff.
Podcast,
We got
Nintendo
Nintendo Nation's going up. We got Supergen Podcast is going up. We got reviews. We got other
Yep,
discussion
video reviews
videos.
now, finally,
oh my
yeah.
God, there are so many videos. But guess what? We're not going to censor any of them.
Nope.
Because that would be stupid.
Yeah.
So make sure you check all that stuff out. Leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment if there's a topic or whatever you want us to discuss in the future. Let us know. Thanks a lot. Anything else?
Good.
Peace out.
See ya.